You know. And there was 3 trips a night, you know. You're not there yet, but we are. Pum, down the corridor. To date, I have booked for you 5 weddings.
But not a funeral?
Not a funeral, not yet.
The girls begin their own negotiations over who has which room.
Now that's very green. Too green. This one, I'm going to have this one.
You'd like this room? The blue room?
Yes. Because when I look out of my window, I can see the view of the mulberry tree. I'm the next one along.
Why have you chosen that?
Because it's got a cupboard.
What do you think, Guy? What kind of feeling are you getting from the islanders and the place?
They're just a very friendly, happy bunch, it seems to me. I think the weather helps, clearly. But yeah, a nice lot of people to get to know and love.
I mean, on a day like this, it's idyllic, isn't it?
It's wonderful, isn't it? Glorious.
You look very relaxed and in holiday mode.
Thank you, I am.
Good.
So far, everything's looking rosy for Father Guy. But Donald knows only too well the dangers that might lie ahead.
Living and ministering in a goldfish bowl. Everything that he does, sometimes believe everything that he thinks before he's even spoken it will become public property. The first few months, you don't know who to trust and how far to trust. There is no escape.
Back on Briar, the ferries dropped off Marion Bennett's weekly fuel delivery for her heating and transport, and WPC Nikki Green. She's getting to grips with the very 21st century crime which has so shaken the islanders. Ominously, the weather's on the turn.
Rain sounds terrible, doesn't it? I'm not sure why it's happened here.
At the end of my statement, I put 4 cases on Briar and the names. For a population of 80, this represents 5% of the community. And if that is a typical level of such fraud for a particular month, because if it is, the country's economy is absolutely blown to bits, isn't it?
It does. I mean, it is rife.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know why it's happened here.
We can't immediately find any link.
It's so difficult to say because it could be an employee of a bank or, you know, somebody like that. It could be, like you say, somebody that's worked in the hotel or somebody that's worked or somebody that's visited and, you know, they managed to pick up details or something like that. I mean, there is quite a few ways that people can get hold of details.
What Nikki must quickly establish is to what extent local people or visitors to the island may be involved.
Once I've got all this information, I'm going to pop down to Hell Bay Hotel and see if they can give me a list of employees from the last 12 months and see if any names or addresses tally up, and then they can speak to, hopefully, the person involved.
Way out in the Atlantic, the Isles of Scilly are vulnerable to sudden storms. The next land to the west is America, and waves have 3,000 miles to gather strength before hitting the low-lying island group. Today, a violent storm no one had forecast arrives quite suddenly, and the boatmen don't hang around to see whether it'll blow itself out. All the inter-island ferries are cancelled. A light aircraft makes heavy weather of its final chance to head back to the mainland. And soon, helicopter flights are suspended. Southerly beaches are being lashed with winds of up to 90 miles an hour. In effect, normal island life is paralyzed. Come dusk, there's little option but to go to the pub to pass the time in the traditional way. And tonight, the boys are in fine voice. There's no cinema or theatre here, so islanders are used to making their own entertainment. And recently there's been a big revival in singing traditional shanties in the local pubs.
In the morning, oh, Kale,
Amongst the fishermen kicking their heels is Martin Bond, who'll have to wait a while longer before trying out the new net.
Well, we decamp here into the office, like, and plan our next campaign, really. Same, all fishermen are in the same boat, really is. We've all got the same game to play, so you just have to make the best of it, don't you?
There too is WPC Nikki Green, who can never really relax because she's always on 24-hour call. She's also preoccupied about her future. She has to decide whether to apply for a permanent post on the islands or return to the mainland. Up at the police station, Nikki's colleague PC Steve Gardner knows it's a difficult decision for her. On the surface, it may be an idyllic place to work. But for a young police officer like Nikki, it's not without its problems.
The difficulty comes where you are on your own, and it's just sometimes you've got to keep a professional distance, and you know we've all managed to do that within the team, because what you don't want to do is compromise yourself or put other people in an awkward position. It's just part of the police in the islands, really.
Forming a relationship with a local guy could be tricky.
It could be tricky, yeah. What people don't realise is you're working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're on call just in case there's any incidents happen. You can't go out and go to the pub and have a good night out with your mates, 5 or 6 pints, because either the pager may go, the phone may go, and you've got to respond to that. So it can be difficult sometimes. You've got to keep that work-life balance, but you are always the police officer and you're always on duty. I think it's a very, very hard place to work as a single person. Yeah, I don't think I could do it. You'd either end up an alcoholic or mad, I think.
Next morning, and the storm has gone as quickly as it came. At last, there's a chance for Marauder to put to sea. Martin Bond's son Joel is taking her out to try out the new net.
How long do they generally go out for?
36 hours if the weather's reasonable.
And one sleeps and one...
Yeah, one on watch and one below.
And then often they don't stay on shore for long.
No, not this time of year, no. You got to make the most of it. You get plenty of time ashore in the winter.
It's a strange life, though, isn't it?
No. Beats working for a living.
It's hard work, isn't it?
Well, it's tiring. It's long work. It's, yeah, short periods of intense activity followed by 2 or 3 hours of sitting around not doing a lot.
Martin and Joel have high hopes for the new net. Conditions are perfect, and today's very big spring tide could even throw up a bumper catch. Up at the police station, Nikki's been busy on Marianne's internet fraud case. After a number of discreet inquiries, she's concluded no one local is involved in the crime. Since the stolen goods have been turning up in London, Nikki must now hand over the case to the Metropolitan Police. There's no doubt the job's turning out to be very frustrating for an ambitious young officer like Nikki. Sunday morning starts grey and gloomy for Father Guy and his family. They're catching a boat to Briar, and Guy's first service on Scilly. Afterwards, he must be sure to catch the ferry back for the next church service on a neighbouring island. Complications over the timing of his morning add to the tension.
Right, when I take you back, it will be from the wooden jetty over there on the corner.
Yeah.
At 10:15?
Quarter past 10? That'd be fine, yeah, quarter past.
Lovely.
The new jet.
Here we are.
If he misses the connecting ferry later, it'll be a disaster.
Okay, bye-bye. Lights are on. Someone's there.
When Father Guy's under stress, there's a danger the dyslexia kicks in, which can leave him, literally, at a loss for words. He's practiced as much as he can, and must now just hope his nerves don't get the better of him.
I just go sort of blank and don't know where I am and can't pronounce words. So for me, preparing for a service is important, but you can't predict everything, and sometimes I'm blown off course.
So how are you feeling now then?
Pretty apprehensive, really, because we're restricted in time. It's my first time here, and you want to do your best for the people, so yeah, a bit apprehensive. You reckon that? Very good morning to you all. I'm on holiday, like many of you.
Meanwhile, Marauder is returning from its test of the new net. And Martin is on the quayside to greet it.
Wait. Hey. No Doris?
Last shaky basket.
Yeah. How many bins you got going? Just 2?
That's all there. That's it.
That's it? Oh, well, you know where not to go tomorrow anyway.
So, how have they got on, Wilson?
In a word, rubbish. Yeah, not very good at all. Very slack.
Despite the new net?
Yeah, well, if they aren't there, you can't catch them. Simple as that. Yeah, another boat was working up there as well, and he left in disgust as well. This is it for the day. Can you believe it? That's what they're after, see? But we do like to see a few more than that. Yeah, like 3 baskets from there, that would be a reasonable day's work with everything else. There you go. You can have one in there.
It's a huge disappointment. They'd hoped to bring home 10 times this. Today doesn't bode well for the long-term future of the trawler business in Father Guy's new parish.
Have mercy upon you.
Back on Briar, things could scarcely be going better for Father Guy. He's hardly faltered and seems to have won over his congregation.
We are at the end today of a group of 3 readings.
During the sermon, though, Father Guy's so confident he seems to be losing track of time.
Are pretty tough going. Still, people have real
He goes on
problems.
far longer than anyone had expected.
How much more the disciples must have struggled 2,000 years ago. In the name of Christ, Amen.
At the end of the service, he's got exactly 3 minutes 45 seconds to catch the ferry, and it won't wait. Backstage, there's total confusion.
Have I got time to see people out?
And what time's your boat?
10:15.
10:15. And where are you being picked up? Yes, okay. Jeff has to go off and do the boat. Key, you're fine. You take a minute from here to the
No,
quay.
it's not.
They said the.
Oh, right. No, you need to go.
They said Annika's one.
No.
The wooden one.
Right, Jeff.
He's told that if he doesn't leave now, he'll miss the next service.
Let's have a quick.
Right, Jeff will tell them there's been a slight delay.
But whilst his family race ahead to get the boat,
Good to see you. Morning. Morning. Good to see you.
Father Guy insists on personally thanking every one of his congregation.
Bye-bye. Good morning. Good to see you. Good morning. Good to see you.
Enjoy your holiday.
Thank you very much.
It looks as if he'll never make it. The quay is a quarter of a mile away, and the ferry's getting ready to leave. Then, Leslie the organist has a brainwave.
You've got to get your leg over it, John.
Oh. Lovely.
Off to Tresco.
Off to Tresco. See you.
He'll make it after all. Well, so far so good. But a brief visit is one thing. The question now is, How well will he really cope under the unremitting scrutiny of the islanders? And will his family really be happy living alongside the oddities, gossip, and insularity of island life? In the next programme, one young Solonian and his family, exiled to the mainland, makes a bid to return home to a new life. But their whole future depends on a landmark planning application.
It's very important. All the islands, and especially the young people, are watching it with great intent.
WPC Nikki Green has to make a decision about her future on the islands. Does she stay or does she go?
There's lots of nice people here and I've made good friends here. And yeah, that's why I don't want to leave.
And back on the mainland, seeing out his time in his old parish, Father Guy can't wait to return to Scilly on a slightly more permanent footing.
It's got to the point where I want to get on with it, really, I have to say, because that's pretty stressful.